Hi guys, Onye here. Welcome to another lovely episode of the Uncensored podcast. And I know it has been a minute. It's been long. It has been long since I released an episode, and it has also been long since I was the only one on the episode. So today is going to be like a solo episode. The year is coming to an end, and I just feel very, very humble. I feel very, very reflective, and I there have been a lot of things on my mind that I have been wanting to say, wanting to tell you guys, and so yeah, this is going to be an honestly brutal, very open episode. It might take time to edit because one of the things I'm going to say here, I'm like, do these people want to know these things? And because I have this bad habit of saying things on my podcast and telling people things, and then when they repeat it back to me, I'm like, oh my god, how do you know that? Like, people walk up to me and tell me stuff that I said on my podcast, and I'll be genuinely surprised, like, where did you hear this from? Isn't this supposed to be like an open secret or whatever? But like, yeah, so I've been sharing like things that are going on, basically like a life update. This by far has been the most less engaging year in terms of releasing episodes I have had ever since I started this podcast in 2020. And there's a very, very reasonable explanation for that. So, first things first, I'll be just giving a little life update. Uncensored, the Unfiltered Truths podcast starts right about now. Since the last time you heard my scintillating voice, I have moved back to my parents' house, and I have also started working remotely. So one of the main reasons why my podcast wasn't consistent was that I was battling with pharmacy school. It was a war. Like, pharmacy school is crazy. Talking about it now, and my mind is just flashing back to the amount of mental breakdowns that I had, and I would love to say that I'm someone that is mentally strong. So for me to have like mental breakdown every semester, that should show you that pharmacy school had me on chokehold. So I did not have the luxury of time to be bringing out episodes, right? You might say, okay, you've been in pharmacy school ever since, so how come that this year it was different? It was because this was my final year, and I needed to put in every single blood, sweat, and tears that I had. My project was another. Thank God for a good supervisor, but my project was another thing. I had final exams to write. I had to read. I had rotations. I'm also like, I also served in church, right? So I was a worker as well, and a lot of things were just happening. So there wasn't really enough time to sit down, think about an episode, plan how it's to go, think about the show notes and all that. So like, I left it for a very long time, and in as much as there were bouts of inspiration where I recorded, like, I think this one will make it like 4 episodes in a year. That's very, very poor poor. Let the poor breathe. Ha! So yeah, that's just it. I was battling with school, but thank God I am done now, and to God's glory, I finished, and I finished well. And that was my plan from the beginning when I was um reading and working hard and doing all those things. I thank God that my results came out, and yeah, baby girl graduated with distinctions. I thank God. So it would be safe to say that, okay, right now I have more time. Today is Monday. I'm recording this on a Monday, and in the southeast it's sit at home. So like, there isn't much movement, and everybody is just it's just a chill. Like, it's a second Sunday. So yeah. What else has been happening in my life? I moved back to my parents' house, right? So that one is another podcast episode on its own. I have been back for only like not up to 2 months, and I'm running mad. I decided after much deliberations that I'll be doing my internship in Enugu, where I live with my parents, because the cost of living has skyrocketed. And honestly, I'm at a point in my life where I've had so much breakdowns from university, mental breakdowns. And I know that adulthood, the mental breakdown is a fine integral part of your life. But I just wanted to touch home first, right? I wanted to come back, rearrange myself, make plans, make goals, and then I know that when I'm going to be like totally independent, I would have like solid foundation. I do not want to move from school straight away to being independent. I for die. Have you seen the price of cotton? Have you seen the price of cotton? Even though internship pays fairly well, but honestly, in this time and age, it's not even enough to like get all the things that you want. So yeah, I stumbled across this Instagram um post that said, okay, while you're in your parents' house, you don't pay rent, right? But you pay rent, like you pay with your mental health. And bro, when I tell you that, that is like the realest thing ever. Like, and honestly, it's better you go out and you work and you get money and pay your rent than paying with mental health. Honestly, because my mental health money have finished. But they keep on taking and taking and taking. And honestly, if you're an Ada, or if you come from an Igbo family, or if you come from a very traditional family where there are some roles that are more will I say important, not to downplay other roles, but if you're the first son, if you're the first child, if you're the first daughter, trust me, staying in your parents' house, especially at this particular time, there is a lot of pressure on you. I don't know how I'm sounding so humble. I'm sounding so I'm sounding so because like life has humbled me. Oh my god. Trust me, if you're not if you don't have backing, like if you don't have financial backing, maybe from a work you started work, not even, let's leave the finance out of it. If you don't have emotional backing, you are bound to cry every 3 working days. I'm telling you honestly. Sometimes I just sit back and I think, was moving back to my parents' house the right decision to make? And honestly, one of the most integral parts of adulthood is making hard decisions and having the stomach to actually stand by those hard decisions that you have made, right? So you need to be very, very intelligent enough to weigh the pros and cons, and I know what to do and live with the consequences. And honestly, because right now I'm paying with my mental health, and it's not funny. But yeah, I thank God for life. I thank God for everything. So that's a little bit of life update. I feel so vulnerable. Oh my god. Okay, so one of the things that I have been meaning to talk about, right, is this unnecessary pressure on today's youth. And for the longest time, it has been something that I've been passionate about, that I wanted to talk about, right? And it was supposed to be an episode on its own. Maybe I'll bring in somebody else and we'll just have a conversation, right? But I just decided today to just like lump everything together. So before I start this segment on pressure, I actually have some stats, so that when I'm saying these things, it will not be as if I'm talking without having proper information and proper evidences. Number one, they say that 12% of people living in extreme poverty in the world are from Nigeria. That is, Nigeria is contributing to 12% of the world's extreme poverty population. That's what Nigeria is doing, 12%. A whooping 12%. And that translates to the fact that translates to 71 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. 71 million Nigerians out of over 200 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. And what is extreme poverty, you may ask? Extreme poverty is when you are living below $2 a day. $2 a day in currently, Naira is going for 785. So 789 Naira is to $1 as at today, Monday. 4th December 2023. So when I'm saying these things now, nobody should come for because the stats are there. The stats are there. Oh my god. 71 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. 71 million Nigerians earn less than 1,500 naira a day. I don't want to get angry today, but honestly, this has been this has been building up in my chest for a very long time, and I hope that I am able to pass the message that is in my as passionate as it is in my heart now. So what does this mean? It means that in suffering we are suffering. If it's poverty, 31% of Nigerians are extremely poor. You know there are levels to poverty. Oh. I did not even talk about there's poor, there's poorest, there's what's that? If you continue to give temporary solution.
To the poorest of the poor, to the poorest of the poor. One day the poor will become poorest, and the poorest will become the poorest of the poorest as the poorest of the poorest as.
So you have poor, we have poorer, we have poorest, we have poorest of the poor, and we have pooresters of the poorest. So we are poor. That's what all these statistics say. Nigerians are what? Are poor. So tell me why there is this unnecessary pressure to show up and show out in a wig of more than 200,000 naira. Tell me why. And I'm not just saying this for me. I'm also saying this for I'm not just saying this for people. I'm also saying this for myself because I have caught myself a billion times getting pressured over the fact that I cannot afford a wig as beautiful as the ones that they are selling on Instagram. Trust me, every girl has been there. Trust me, if you haven't been there, kudos to your I don't know, your strength or whatever. But I have been there, to do you understand? And I had to I was like, come, wait though. Onyechuku, how much are you earning? How much are you earning that you are craving? You are craving wig that is, you say 100 times your salary because you're not even earning anything at this point. If the wig is 200k, it's 200 times your salary because what? You are earning 0 naira. And also, it's also seeping into the pricing that all these vendors now place on their products. I know that the purpose of business is to make profit, but come on now, why are you so inconsiderate to the extent that you want to, out of people that are selling hair, those people special judgment seat for them if I'm God, because I know that some people are gaining up to more than 100% return, 100% profits. Why? Because they feel like it's a luxury statement, it's in vogue, and some certain people can afford it, therefore everybody should be able to afford it. I never will have a problem when of telling people of how people spend their money. If you want to spend your money and buy a 10 million naira for one brush, that is your business, that is your money. So where I will have a problem is when your outrageous standard of living starts to seep into normal people's standard of living. How much is a 1-bedroom apartment in Lagos? Why would somebody build a cubicle and want to gain the whole world and lose his soul on top one property? Why will you be renting a house for, I don't know, 700k, close to 1 million, and then the house is nothing to write home about? Why? Because people are buying it. It's some select you can afford it. Therefore, everybody should be able to afford it. Just like one restaurant that set up around my area when I was still in school, student environments. You're selling one plate of rice and beef. I selling one plate of rice 3,000 naira, and people are buying it because some people are into illegal things, and everybody should now afford those things. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, we live in a world where things are hard. Okay, things are hard. So people that are trying to make an honest living should cut themselves some slack because it's not easy. And vendors should stop, because of a select few, pressuring other people to not pressure it, like hiking your prices so much because some G boys and G girls can afford what you're buying. Every other person should now go to hell, Abi. You're selling one hair for 1 million naira. Fear God now. Like, fear God. Like, have the fear of, even if it's small, have this fear of God in you. It doesn't make sense. And then as girls, as ladies, as men as well, if you're not able to buy these things for your wife, for your girlfriend, if as a girl you're not able to afford this thing, you're not wearing the latest hair, you don't have the latest bracelets, you don't have the latest shoes, it's not as if you're not the in thing, you're not making sense, or you don't have anything going on for yourself. I'm someone that strongly believes in seasons, right? And I know that a time will come where you're able to comfortably afford all these things. But for the time being, can we just make do with what we have? Can we not be putting ourselves under unnecessary pressure? It is really crazy. Omo, guys, we are now the 71 million Nigerians. Everybody's not acting like they have money. So who is inside the 71 million Nigerians? Who are inside the 71 million Nigerians, right? So what I'm basically trying to say is this pressure is very unnecessary. Like, let us help ourselves. Everything is not the government. Yes, I know fuel is going for 670 naira per liter. Things are hard, but there are also some things that are not as expensive as we are putting them out to be. Honestly, even if the government was something to write home about, what about your morals? What about other people? Do you have empathy for other people? Or do you just see everything as just a money making scheme, right? The government cannot come to your house and set prices for you. Both guys, both girls, female, male, wherever you find yourself, please be content in this season. Especially this is dirty December, people will be going around spraying money. If you have the money to do that, that is fine, that is beautiful. I wish I'm you, right? But if you don't go and be overthinking yourself. Things are hard. Things are hard. 71 million Nigerians are in extreme poverty. Okay, so don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure to want to perform to people that don't even care. Honestly, oh my god, because literally why we are getting all these things that we deem luxurious items, because we want other people to see these things and say, oh, this girl has money, this girl, is a rich babe, is a soft babe. Instagram, honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to delete Instagram, because the things I see on there every day, like, if you're not someone that is strong-willed, you will just fall into depression, because it's as if nothing is going on for you. Whereas some million Nigerians are in extreme poverty, bro. That's going to be the title of this episode. So it's really crazy how a few people who have made it through illegal means and their spending capacity is literally affecting the way that we perceive things. Exactly. That is just it. If you see a hair of 50K, you're like, oh no, it's not good hair. Ah, where have we got it wrong? So I'm just here to be a voice of reason, a voice of contentment. This season, contentment. We need to be content with where we are, because if not, we'll just die trying to chase shadows, because these things don't make sense in the long run. Human needs are insatiable. I said it one time on one podcast episode like that. We'll keep on chasing after the next big thing, and if you've not learned contentment, you keep on chasing, like you'll be on a rat race, chasing one thing after the other. And most importantly, don't be pressured to thinking that you must have these things. If not, you're not a human being. 71 million Nigerians are in extreme. If anybody wants to put you under pressure, just tell them 71 million Nigerians are in extreme poverty. Yeah, 12% of the whole world population that live in extreme poverty are from Nigeria. Yes. 71 million Nigerians live under 1,500 naira a day. Just tell them like that. So if you can afford to eat at least twice a day, you can afford to buy some clothes, buy some okay shoes, cut your coat according to your cloak. If you can do all that, please, by all means, you are far, 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 far better than a lot of people, if I'm being honest. So the year is coming to an end. I know we are forced to do sober reflections. What did I buy? What did I do? What did I gain? And stuff like that. You are alive in the land of the living. You're not dead. You're probably not hungry now. And even if you're hungry, at least you know where your next meal is coming from. If you can buy data to listen to this episode, you can afford to eat. A lot of people do not know what to eat. A lot of people are wondering where the next meal will come from. A lot of people are living under 1,500 naira a day. What can that even get you? Can that even get you? What can that now? Imagine if you they now have a family as well. Please, let's be considerate, and let's not. I know that putting yourself on your toes and trying to reach the next big thing also will motivate you into becoming somebody that becoming a big person, literally becoming, getting to where you want to be. But come on, honestly, contentment is something that we need to imbibe as a value in this time and age, right? So some million Nigerians are extremely poor. Thank you. So the next thing I want to talk about is balancing your household and work life as a woman. This one is another big issue because when I was working, I started working while I was still in school. Though I was done with school, but I was still rounding off some things, and things were easy. I do think when I want to eat, I eat when I want to eat. I do whatever I want to do when I want to do. I do my work and all that and all that. Now moving back to my parents' house, there are obviously roles and responsibilities that you must fulfill, especially as another in an Igbo household. Now imagine having to do all that and also having to work, right? In the real sense of it, if you're a working class woman, there is no reason whatsoever for you to have an excuse of, oh, I want to go and cook for my husband, or oh, I want to go and breastfeed my baby. And that is why sometimes a lot of women do not really climb up the corporate ladder as fast as their male counterparts, because we are being dragged back. You're trying to climb up, your husband and your two children are dragging you down the ladder, because you still have to go home and fulfill those responsibilities that you have. And I'm just like, how are women out there balancing this whole thing? It is really crazy. And now more than ever, I understand the importance of a supportive partner, because if you don't share these things, that's how you die. Oh. And honestly, right now, I really don't blame any woman that says that they don't want to work, they just want to stay at home and do household things and just live, be eating their husband's money. I don't blame them one bit. Usually, when I hear these things, I just used to laugh and be like, who is this traditional woman that doesn't want to elevate? Elevates. But, bro, household work is it's already enough for you to break down and be tired. Now imagine a woman having to combine these two things. I feel like we don't get our flowers enough. I feel like we don't get enough credit for this, right? And it's so absurd that it's very weird for you to hear a man say, "Oh, I have to go and go back home and take care of my child." It can never be the same. Honestly, I don't know how they do. And one of the things that is making me afraid, because I want am I crazy? Am I crazy to want both things at the same time? It's like one thing has to suffer, and it's really unfair. It's either you stall having kids till you are comfortable in your career, or you stall your career until you're done having kids. It doesn't make sense. Can't I have both at the same time? Can't I have the same privilege that the men do? And it's so crazy, because you can never be in the same level with your male counterpart, because while you're 6 months, 3 months maternity, while you're away for 3 months and 6 months doing maternity leave, your mates are climbing up the corporate ladder, going for meetings, doing this. And then I was talking to somebody yesterday. It's really crazy how you can't even be at work, right, and not feel guilty for leaving your children. Whether you have a nanny or whatever, thank God that the whole the way that nannies and house helps are looked at now, it's really different from the way they were looked at, like even as early as 3 years ago. Because 3 years ago, you say you have a nanny, you're like, who is this woman that has left a stranger to train her children? But you're just trying to you know get the best of both worlds, right? And I believe you me, every woman that is at home, everyone that is working, they have a lot of drawbacks. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, why do we have a lot of drawbacks? Why drawbacks so much? And then, like, we're doing two times the work. We don't receive enough accolades for this, if I'm being honest. I saw this video. It's really crazy. In this life, it's either you get married to a supportive partner that will help you, or you don't get married at all. I cannot even make that kind of mistake, and I don't pray for anybody listening to this to make that kind of mistake. I saw this Instagram story where this woman, I think she's even a housewife, right? But like, things can get exhausting. And she decided to go with her friends on vacation, right? This man was away for what, 2 weeks, 1 week, whatever. She comes back to her house and her house is in a bloody damn mess. And I'm like, my dear, if you have 3 children and a husband, you actually have, like, you left 4 children to go out, if I'm being honest. Because tell me why you would get married to somebody that does not understand that they are there to help you as well. Do you get? Like, why will I go? I've been all year round, I have been working my ass off, seeing that every single day you wake up, you have something, you have lunch, you have breakfast, you have lunch that you can carry to work or school. You come back, your dinner is ready, your bath is ready. I prepare the children for school, take them to school, bring them back, do their assignments for them, and do it. And I said, let me take a 2 weeks break. And the way that you can actually reward me is by making sure that my absence is felt, and when I come back, I will not have to suffer again. Let's be for real, honestly. Women are having a hard time balancing their career life. Okay, just today, a woman came for some business, right? And she was supposed to go out with somebody else. Okay, it wasn't planned, but like something came up and she had to go out with the driver to go and get something. And she was now saying that she can't make it though because she left her children with her husband and time is ticking. And at that point, I was like, no, 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 no. It is this same society that make you feel like you can get everything that you can get, accolades, degrees. If you do not have a home with children, you're not a woman. Is this a society that will tell you that the woman herself, she's not even doing anything, she's not at home, eating her husband's money and taking care of her children? Am I crazy to want both things? This is what has been on my mind since. How am I going to make it possible? Am I crazy to want to have children early enough, train them, make sure that I instill good values in them, and also have a good career? Am I crazy for wanting both things? So yeah, that's that's my rant about that. I don't know. I don't know. And then you now look at these people that are not married yet, but like are really successful. Honestly, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let us not lie. Let us not steal. We do not look at these people the same way we look at women that are struggling to do the two of them. But a woman has said, miss me with all that BS. I'm not interested in having children. Everybody will just go crazy. Mothers will start crying. Meetings will be called. Does it make sense? Doesn't make sense. So as a woman, as a lady, am I crazy for wanting to have both things? Why can't I? Why does it look like it's almost impossible, or you have to pay for it with your mental health? Please, if you should answer my question. Sense. The next thing I want to talk about, honestly, this whole end of year rant will not be complete if I don't talk about the role that God played in my life this year. No, if God did not help me this year, I would have fallen by the wayside a long time ago. I would have sipped into chronic depression, chronic anxiety, and all that. And honestly, whenever this issue of having God by your side comes up, people are like, oh, Ona Emeka church, Ona Emeka here church, Ona Emeka holier than thou. But honestly, it's just like I have found a life hack, sort of. I found a life hack, and I'm going to unapologetically keep on talking about it. If you feel like, oh, she's always talking about God and church, maybe you're just the devil. Who knows? Because I don't know why things like this will be irritating people. Or maybe it's actually you feel so inferior. And I think I'm speaking for a lot of Christians when I say that we do not say these things and post these things and talk about these things in a bit to make you feel like, okay, you're not doing much, or you're not serving God, or you're not doing all that. That is like, we're not even interested in what you think. We have just found out that doing life without God and doing life with God, that is a significant difference. And we will just keep on doing what we do. And a lot of people have this misconception that, okay, when God is involved, right, your journey is supposed to be easy peasy. I don't know whether they're reading the back of their Bible, or whether, I don't even know who they are listening to. But God never promised us that these challenges won't come, right? He says, all the weapon formed against us shall not prosper. He did not say weapons will not form. He said they will not prosper, right? And I don't know, because honestly, I like to view what I'm going to bring out an episode where I just talk about God and, you know, my perspective on my Christian journey. Do you understand? My perspective on the Christian journey, or my Christian journey, you know. What was I even saying, self? I see my relationship with God as somebody that is my father. God is my father, and I'm opportune to be in a relationship with somebody that is the most high God. I'm opportunity to be in a relationship with the ruler of the heavens and the earth. I feel like that is a very big privilege. Someone that has time and seasons in his hand. He calls me by my name, and he says that I am his. It's a big privilege, honestly. So I see God as my my biggest daddy, my big my big daddy, my sky daddy. Okay. And more often than not, because I have a fairly good relationship with my dad, I tend to look at things from that angle. I know that maybe it might not, I tend to look at it from that angle, basically, right? And if I am a parent, mm, in as much as I know a lot of parents actually have found one thing in this area, but in as much as I want to give the best to my children, take them to the best schools, take them to the best violin lessons, take them, they know how to skate, they know how to swim, making sure that life turns out for them better than it did for me, right? Absence of challenges always make people think that that's what life is about, but that's not the truth. If life hits you, you will sabi. So, which is the better way to put this child to the outside world with proper guidance, right, on the way things should go? Yes, there'll be challenges, but he said he will never leave us nor forsake us. Do you understand? In that same way, if I have a child, I would want the child to be strong, to be strong-willed, to face these challenges, but not in the absence of my presence. But not outside my presence, right? I will be with you, guiding you. But you must go through these challenges so that you can come out a better person. If the mother of the if a bird, if a mother bird, if a mother eagle, a mother bird has always from time shielded her child will never learn how to fly. Always carrying the child will never fly, right? In that same way, God and life brings us these challenges to grow our faith, to make us stronger, to make us come out better human beings, to make us be able to teach other people, to make us be able to transfer this thing to other people, to make us to be an all-round sensible person. You cannot bring somebody that has been sheltered all their life from every problem and every challenge and bring somebody that has fought through the storm and the wind. They can never, like, if you put them in the outside world, the other one will never last a day, but the other person will be strong-willed, and you see that at the end of the day, the person will be successful. So God plays a huge role in God has been faithful this year, honestly. He has showed up for me in ways that I did not even know were possible. Right? God has blessed me, He has blessed my family. And going forward, I want to actually talk more about things like this in my podcast, right? On episodes, because this is such a huge part of my life to be ignored. You guys know about Chidi, you know about my friends, you know about some certain things, you know about my dad. these are people that are important in my life. God is also someone that is very, very important in my life. And it's very crazy for me to not talk about him all the time. It's very crazy. Why? Why would I? So going forward, I've decided that we'll talk about whatever we're talking about on the episode, right? But there will be a segment for what God is saying in every season, right? Because he speaks. So this is not in any way to make anybody feel like less of themselves, but I highly recommend that you have a relationship with God. He knows the end from the beginning. It's like somebody has gone to Kafanchan before and he says, follow me. And you want to get to Kafanchan, obviously. He said, follow me. I will show you the way to Kafanchan. It's as easy as that. Kafanchan roads, right? You might meet bad roads, you might meet flooded roads, you might meet places that you have to come down from the car, you might meet places that you have to swim, you might meet places that you have to fly. But at the end of the day, you are sure that you're going to get to Kafanchan because the person that is leading you has been there before. So that is literally my relationship with God. God knows the end from the beginning, and He has said, follow me. I will take you through the best parts. I will guide you. Literally. So like God is a huge part of my life, and He has shown me that He is faithful. Once you commit to Him, He's going to show up for you. He's going to show up for you, but one thing we need to do is to stop using human reasoning to reason God, because He doesn't reason the way we reason. Just follow Him blindly, and you see that everything will work out at the end of the day. Don't expect things to work out as soon as you follow Him, because life is never devoid of challenges. But be rest assured that it's not over until it's good. So if you are still in that trouble, if you are still in the storm will come to an end. Peace be still, right? And He also said that He will give us the peace that passes all on, the peace that makes no sense. Because if you can understand it, then there's no reason for God. If you don't have challenges in life, there's no reason to serve a God that can show you what to do, because you feel like you're already living the best life. You don't have any need, you don't have any wants. But these challenges are there because that's life for you. God is not going to uproot you and put you in a fantasy world. No. Just face those same challenges. But what the upper hand you have over the person that does not have God is that you're assured that at the end of the day, everything will work out. Everything will work out. So yeah, that's my sky daddy for you people. Sky daddy. Sky daddy to the rescue. So the last thing I'll be talking about is the lessons that I learned in 2023 and my goals for 2024. So the biggest lesson I learned in 2023 was that the mind is a powerful tool, and that anything that you set your mind to do, you can achieve it. I know this sounds like all these cliche motivational speakers, but like tested and trusted, trust me. Tested and were trusted. You set your mind to do something, and you're intentional about making sure that thing works. I don't know for other people, but if we got backing with your own strong, like if you have that will that thing will happen, it will happen. And then going forward, I know that for a fact that like nothing is out of my reach. Your mind, the way you condition your mind is very, very important. If you think small, small things will always come to you. But if you think big, if you expand your capacity, you will have room for minimum. It's like somebody with a small clay pot and a very large drum. You can only get what you can only get what you imagine to get. You understand? So if you're thinking of okay, I want to get keke, you will get your keke. If someone's thinking about Lexus and they put in the work, trust me, they will get that Lexus. Now, the extra part of it for the Christians is that God says He's going to exceed our expectations. So while we are thinking about Lexus, Baba is thinking about jets, private jets. Do you understand? But like basically, anything you set your mind to do, you can achieve it. So I'm entering into 2024 with an endless possibilities mindset that like anything I want to do, because I've seen it work for me. So now I'm even going to even go further and expand my capacity more and more. open open my mind to diverse opportunities. Nothing is out of my reach. It's what I'm like, that's my mantra for like 2024. Everything I set my mind to do, I can achieve and I will achieve by the grace of God. So yeah, that's a lesson I learned in 2023. Now, my goals for 2024, honestly, one of my goals for 2024 is to rebrand my podcast. Now I'm finished from school. I feel like this podcast is sort of like an integral part of my life, right? And I've left it very dry for a long time. So now I want to be intentional, but especially now that influencing marketing is something that is getting money. Well, I want to get my money too. So I'm going to be intentional about my podcast. I know that even with these lazy podcast episodes I'm releasing, you people are still like, you will still love what I do, right? And I know that if I put in my mind and my work, ah, this podcast will go far. So this next year I'm going to rebrand my podcast, sort of not change the logo, but modify the logo. I'm also thinking of going into YouTube, but I know that it is more work because you need to have video. People love what they can see and not necessarily only hear. That is why, like, as a podcaster or someone that owns a podcast, if you've not started thinking towards the video podcasting side, you might be a little bit old fashioned and left out. So thinking towards that direction as well. Other goals include getting closer to God, you know, finishing my internship, or at least being almost done with my internship, and moving to a new city. Yeah, so those are my goals, and I know that I can achieve them. Like, if I put my mind to them, everything will work out. It might not be seeming like I can do it now, but like, I know that if I put my mind to it, I'ma do it. Most of the times, this ending of the year is really with a lot of sadness and depression, and being unhappy that you were not able to achieve all your goals. But what about the ones we're able to achieve? What about the ones we're able to do? We tend to focus only on the ones that we did not achieve rather than the ones that we also achieved. Being alive alone and not being in prison or not being dead is a huge testimony in its own. And I know that if each and every one of us can go back, sit back, and just think through, do some sort of reflections on how far you have come this year. Look at, nobody knew that we were able to survive this year with this our new president. Everybody thought that we were gunners, but look at us, we are here today. And one or two other personal projects that had happened. If you're not conscious of these things, you will always be chasing the next big thing. And trust me, it never ends. You consider that till you die. So you better calm down and reflect and be thankful to God for how far He has brought you and every other person. Yes, a lot of things might not have gone. Some people might have lost loved ones. A lot of things might have happened. But it's not over until it's good, right? God is not done with us yet. We're always on that constant journey. And if you don't count your blessings, you will count only your problems. And you end up in the hospital. And who is that affecting? Nobody but you. So yeah, I think that this brings me to the end of this episode. I don't even know how this episode went, honestly. It went higgy haga because I had like a lot of things that were not really connected to talk about. I wonder how I'm going to connect them. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for the love and support so far. I am more than grateful. Spotify Wrapped came out last week, and I wasn't even expecting much because I didn't release much episodes, but then the love has still been massive, and I promise that by next year I'm coming back bigger and better, a new uncensored, rebranded and everything, you know. So thank you guys for sticking with me throughout the years, for all our OG listeners from 2020. For 3 good years, we have been doing podcasting off and on. I have learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about consistency. I have been very, very self aware, especially in this year that is about to finish now. And I'm grateful for everybody that has decided to go on this journey with me. And, I just pray that this year ends on a very good note for us. The Bible says that the end of a thing is greater than the beginning, right? So I know that it is not too late for a miracle. It's not too late for whatever you're hoping for to come to pass. And even if it doesn't, let us also make that conscious effort to be content with where we are right now, because we could have had it far worse than it actually is now. But in some way or the other, God has been faithful to us. We are alive in the land of the living. So please, when you get this episode, like, share, comment. Spotify has this thing where you can actually leave comments on podcasts right now. So before I we also get into YouTube, please, I'm going to put up a poll. I know a lot of us use Spotify because I saw all our Spotify wrapped. So please, I love it when we engage with the podcast. It's a way of, because most times it's as if I'm just talking, and there isn't really a platform where people can just comment, unlike YouTube. But Spotify has made that possible now. So just take out your time, place one or two comments or so. I see them, and I know that you're listening, and I know that you love what I am doing. Also rate the podcast 5 stars as well. Share to your loved ones, and have a very beautiful Christmas and a very happy new year. I love you guys so much. See you on the next one. Bye.